make a game called Drawmatic. So it's a little game where you click on a button and a pencil draws a shape automatically. So let's get started. Create a new project. So it just loads up and delete the first sprite. Choose a new sprite, pencil, and and go to the costumes. I like pencil B personally, so just change the pencil size a little bit. Change the so click on the pencil and from the corner, just make it a bit smaller. So convert to bitmap. Just draw a little square around it and make it smaller. And then make it small to your liking. And then put the point of the pencil right like that, right in the center. Okay, there you go. Now go back to your code. Go to events, bring in the webflake clicked block. Go to looks and make it switch costume to pencil B. Go to the motion. And here's a little challenge for you. Make it go to the center of the screen and make it point to 90 degrees. So a little bit of a dramatic pause there. So drag in the go to block, go to x coordinate equals 0 and y coordinate equals 0 too. And scroll down, point and drag in the point in direction 90 block. And add a new extension called pen. And in that pen, make it erase all, set pen color to whatever color you want. I'm picking red. If you're also picking red, set the color to 0, saturation to 100, and brightness to 100. There you go. And set pen size to what? You could make it bigger or smaller. I just like 1. Okay, so go to the event and bring in the when space key pressed, but instead of when space key pressed, change it to when A key pressed. When the A key pressed, go to pen, bring in the pen down block, go back to motion, bring in move 10 steps, and go back to pen and bring pen up. So if you click on this little script here, if you click on the flag and you click on this little script here, as you can see, it draws. So that's what you want it to do. And when you click on the flag, it erases all. So next you want it to, so right now, what we want it to do is draw a square. So right now what I want you to do is drag the pen up at the end of the script away. Go to the motion. We made it move 10 steps. Make it turn 90 degrees. Duplicate those 2 blocks from move 10 step, turn 90 degrees. Duplicate that, put it under it. And duplicate it again, put it under it, and pen up. So when you click on the flag and click on the letter A, it draws the square. See that? And you see how small it is? That's because of the number of steps we made it move. So we could make it move 50 steps. So change all the move steps to 50 steps. So when you change it to 50 steps, when you click on the flag again and click on A, the square is much bigger. But if you do 100 steps, it'll be double that. So now click on the flag and click on A, and you see how big it is? That's what we wanted to do. And you see how much code we have? We might want to tidy it up. So remove all that away, all the code we did, apart from the pen down, go to the control, bring in repeat, and change it to repeat 4 times, and only bring in two move 100 steps and turn 90-degree blocks, just like that, and dragging the pen up and delete the rest of the blocks. So when you do that, it does it. It does it. It still does it, but without all that. Without all that code still there, and the computer reads this code really fast. So I'm gonna put a wait block just so you could see. You don't have to do this. I'm just gonna put a wait block so you could see how the computer is doing it. So there you go. So when I click on A, you see that? It moves 10 steps, then turns, then it moves another 10 steps, then turns, then it moves another 10 steps, then turn. That's what a square is. So that's what we wanted to do. So I'm just going to remove that way. So now we have a full square. So the next thing we want to do is draw a triangle. I know that might sound a little hard. Play around with the numbers. This is a little challenge for you. Play around with the numbers of the way it's turning and how much times it's repeating, and see if you can make a triangle on your own. Okay, so if you figure that out, good for you. And if you haven't, so just so this is what you do. Just duplicate this whole script when our whole script here, when A key press, duplicate that, put it right beside it, and change it to B. You could do any key. I'm just gonna use B for alphabetical order. And instead of it repeating 4 times, we're gonna make it repeat 3 times, because a triangle here, as you can see, has 3 sides. A triangle has 3 sides, as we all know here. That's a bad triangle, but yeah, a triangle has 3 sides. So we'll make it repeat 3 times, and we're gonna make it turn 120 degrees. That's what you wanted to do. You want to make it turn 120 degrees, because if you divide 120 by 2, if you've learned this in school, if you divide 120 by 2, it's 60. And a triangle needs 180. A triangle needs 180 degrees. All the degrees, angles have to add up to 180. So let's pretend this. So we're just gonna pretend. That sucks. So I'm just gonna draw a little triangle here. This is not the best triangle, I know. So I'm just gonna straighten those up. So there you go. And that's a triangle. Let's pretend that's a triangle. So let's pretend this is 60 degrees. This is also 60 degrees. And this is also 60 degrees. So 60 plus 60 plus 60 equals 180. So if you don't believe me, you could go do the calculation on your own. Plus 60 plus 60 plus 60 plus 60 equals 180. So when you divide 120 divided by 2, it's 60. And those angles are all equal. So now when you click on B, it draws a triangle. And just for you to see that process again, wait, zero. You don't need to do this. Wait, 0.6. And just for you to see this process again, just gonna click on B. And you see that? You still don't really see it turning, but you could see it, you kind of could see it turning if you can really see that. It turns 180, 120 degrees on each turn. That's what we want it to do. Next, we're gonna draw a rectangle. Next, we're gonna draw a rectangle. So for a rectangle, everyone knows how. This is a rectangle. This right here, this is a rectangle. That thing in the middle of the. So this is a rectangle. As you know, a rectangle has two sides that are the same, two parallel sides that are the same, and another two parallel sides that are the same, but it's kind of like a square, but not really, because not all the sides are actually the same. So for a rectangle, we actually can't use repeat blocks, repeat loops. So we're gonna have to do this on our own. So bring in the when C key pressed. C. It's okay if you could use any other key, but I'm using C. Go to motion, make it move. I'm gonna make it move 200 steps. Turn 90 degrees because it still has a right angle. Then move another, don't move 200 steps this time. Don't move 200 steps this time. Move 50 steps and turn 90 degrees and duplicate this from the move 200 steps. Duplicate that, and there you go. You have a you have a rectangle. So when you click on C, oh yeah, and also I deliberately, oh never mind, I made a mistake. I forgot to make it put the pen down, and at the end put pen up. Yeah, see, it draws a rectangle so quickly. So I'm just gonna do this just so you can see it. You don't have to do it. Wait 0.6 seconds. So now you can see it turned, but then it doesn't move the same amount of steps each time. And you see how all this code isn't really cleaned up. We want it to be more organized, right? So all the code we've done, move it out of the, move it away from the block, move it away from the script starter, and including the pen down, go to my blocks and make a new block. And this block is gonna be called rectangle. I'm just gonna put rec. Okay. And it's, you see where it says define rec? That's where we're gonna put this code that's gonna tell the rec block. It's gonna tell this rec block what to do. So this block is going to tell this block what to do. That's why we have to put all of that code under it. So so now we're going to have to drag rec, the actual like block that you snap under, put it under one C key press and start it. So when you click on C, it does it. But then you see how instead of the one C key press script being highlighted, it's the rec script being highlighted because it's the rec script doing everything, not the one C key press script. So next we're going to be drawing a pentagon. Yes, we're actually going to be drawing a pentagon. So, yep. So as you might think a pentagon doesn't, you can't use a repeat loop for pentagon, but you actually can. So this is, so go to the event, bring in when space key pressed, but then instead of when space key pressed, change it to when last time we used C, this time we're gonna use D. When D key pressed, it's going to go to the pen. So just go to the pen, put pen down, go to the control, bring in repeat. Repeat, how many sides does a pentagon have? 5. So it's going to repeat 5 times. So go to motion, make it move 100 steps and turn 72 degrees. And as you might be thinking, how is a pentagon 72 degrees? Well, if I was to draw a pentagon, which I don't know how to draw a pentagon, but I try my best. If I was to draw a pentagon, this is really hard. So if I were to draw a pentagon, I would draw it like this. So we're just going to pretend this is 72 degrees. 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 And this is 72 degrees. But we all know it isn't actually, but we're just pretending this is not actually 72 degrees. So that's why we're turning 72 degrees. And also, it's also 72 degrees. For all this, we've actually been using division. So 360 is a whole circle, right? We're going to get to drawing a circle. 360 is a whole circle. But then 360 divided by how many sides the shape has, in this case it's a pentagon, 360 divided by 5 is 72 degrees. It's 72. You don't believe me? You could go to the math on your own. So use a calculator or whatever you want to use. You could go do the math on your own. And so, but 360 divided by 5 is 72 degrees. That's why we're turning 72 degrees. So play around with this number as much as you want. And next, and also I have one more thing to show you actually. If you change the turn by 75 degrees, you see how it stops? It doesn't exactly close it. So if you were to make a spiral, you would make it repeat a lot. So if you were to make a spiral, you would make it repeat a lot. So if I were to make a spiral with a pentagon and I made it 75 degrees here and I repeated it 70 times, it would make this, something like this. That's because when the pencil is turning, while it turns, it it basically tries to close the pentagon. So when you click on, so if I just, you don't have to do this. I'm just gonna make it wait. You see how it moves? It's trying to close the spiral and it just keeps overlapping every single time. But then it goes so many times that it actually overlaps over the spiral. If you just saw what happened right now. So, yep, that's if you wanted to create a spiral, which we're gonna get to some very cool things in spiral later. So watch this video till the end. So actually change it back to 72 degrees and repeat it 5 times. Yeah, repeat it 5 times. There you go. And next we're gonna be drawing a hexagon with 6 sides. So duplicate this script, put it right here, and how many times are you gonna repeat it? 6 times. And how much are you gonna turn? You're gonna turn 360 divided by 6, which is 60. So you would have a hexagon when you click on what letter? E. So we're gonna make it E this time. So when you click on E, you should have an hexagon. And when you click on E, you should have uh a hexagon. Wait, did it just go off? You see how it goes off there? When you click on E, that's because we made it move too much. So we're gonna have to reduce the number of steps it moves. So maybe reduce it by 20, which is 80. So that should work. Yep, there you go. Now you have a hexagon. And just like I said the last time, if I change this to like 62 and I made it repeat 60 times, it would create a spiral. You see that? It's a different spiral from last time, even though it looks the same. And this is something fun I tried when I did the project before. So I just overlapped. I overlapped the project. I overlapped the shapes. So it's really fun to just do that. So there you go. That's what I just like to do sometimes. And just so you see the steps, and if I put this right here, and I click on E, you see, just like the last time, it overlaps. And it goes so much that it actually does connect. It overlaps with the actual thing it's trying to connect with. It just overlapped. It just connected right now, and it just keeps going. So that's what you do. That's what it is when you make a spiral. A spiral is, if you wanted to make a spiral circle, something like, I don't really know how to draw something like this. It would be like, you could kind of see it. It's like it's like a circle that didn't make it, and it just kept going and going and going. And you see how I made it so big? That's exactly how it would be if I made the steps, it moved so big, if I was making an actual circle spiral. So, yep. Next, we're gonna be making a octagon. We're gonna be making an octagon. So, you're gonna duplicate it, put it somewhere where you have space. Just find some space here, and we're gonna make it one F key pressed or whatever you want. Just F if you've been following the alphabetical order, and just for the last one, when we make the hexagon, instead of 60 times, just change it back to 6. And for the octagon, it's going to be repeating the number of sides an octagon has. And how many sides does an octagon have? It has 8 sides. So we should just reduce this by a little bit, maybe to 70. And what is 360 divided by, so 360 divided by 8. So 360 divided by 8, 45. 360 divided by 8 is 45. So it would turn 45 degrees. So when I click on the flag, click on F, you see, it's still because the size is too big. So every time we're making a bigger shape with more sides, we would decrease the number of steps it moved by 20. So right now we change it to 60. It would move 60 steps right now. And there you go. You have a perfect octagon. And just like I said last time, if I was to make this 47 and I made it repeat, I don't know, 45 times, and I clicked on F, and if I put this block right there, you don't need to do this. I'm just going to let you see the process. It moves. And just like last time, you see how it tilts every single time? It turns. The octagon basically turns every single time because it doesn't go back to the to a equal um to a equal angle. It doesn't turn back to an equal angle. And that's why every time we've been dividing 360, which is a full circle, by the number of sides, which will make it go back to the equal angle. But when you put it a little off, it won't go back to the equal angle, which it's supposed to do to close the shape, which in this case it's an octagon. So I'm just gonna change that back to 8. So I'm just gonna change that back to 8 and change this back to 45. So you have a perfect, and I'm just gonna remove this. You don't need to do this. Just gonna move my weight block here. Now you have a perfect octagon. Next, we're gonna be drawing a. Okay, next we're actually gonna be making a decagon. So we're gonna duplicate the block we just made, the script we just made, and when G key pressed, pen down, repeat 10 times, and 360 divided by 10. Yep, 36. And it's gonna move 40 steps this time. And when G pressed, it creates a decagon. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So a decagon would be 36 degrees on each side. So let's just say this would be 36 degrees, and then this would be 36 degrees, 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 and so on and so forth. So, yep, that's a decagon. So, a decagon, each side has to be 36 degrees. So, yep, there you go. And next, we're going to be drawing a circle. Next, we're going to be drawing a circle. For the circle, we're going to make, for the circle, we're going to make a custom block. So go to My Blocks, make a block, and call the block Make a Circle. So make a circle. There you go. And make a circle, defining make a circle. Make a circle is going to be defined with basically almost like color blocks, but not really. Pen down, go to the pen, bring in the pen down, go to controls, bring in the repeat block, the repeat loop. I'm not sorry. So, a circle, most people think a circle, which I don't know how to draw here, most people think a circle, I don't know how to draw a circle. Most people think a circle is smooth, no ending, smooth no ending shape, infinite shape. Yes, a circle is infinite, but it's not actually smooth. A circle is a shape with a lot of tiny little sides. And the reason we've been one of the reasons we've been decreasing the steps we've been moving all these times are because the more the more um the more size the shape has, the less space it's gonna need. So a circle is a really big is a not is a shape with a lot of sides. So if you wanted to draw a super smooth circle, you'd put a lot of sides. So go to motion. We're going to decrease this one to 10. It's going to move 10 steps this time. And it's going to repeat it 36 times. 360 divided by 36 is 10. It's going to be turning 10 degrees. So right now that doesn't really do anything except for when I click it. So when you go to the event, bring in when space key pressed, but this time we're gonna change it to when E key pressed. E, or did we already do E? I mean H, sorry, H. When H key pressed, we're gonna when H key pressed, we're gonna make our circle. So when you click on H, you see how it's kind of jaggy? It's not super smooth. So let me just show you this slower. You don't have to do this. I'm just gonna show you this slower. So you see that? It's actually just making super tiny sides and just making it and just they're so tiny the human eye doesn't really see it, so it seems like a smooth shape to our eyes. But then if I made it repeat it more times, like 60 times, let's say, and I clicked on H, you see how it's more smoother now? If I made it 100 times, it would be even more smoother than this. That's because it's making the shape really it's actually making the shape a little by little by little by little, but it's still jaggy. But then if I made it turn a little bit sharper, maybe 3 degrees every time, and 360 divided by 3, 360 divided by 3 is 120. It would be super smooth. But then you see how big it would be? It would actually make, it would kind of make like a 6 figure. So I'm going to have to make that super small. Maybe 3 would work. An 8. You see how smooth it makes it? If I put this weight block there, you'd see how much steps the computer would go through to make it. You see that? You see how tiny those things are? If I made it move 1 step. No, actually, if I made it move, 1 step and made it turn 0.90 degrees, which is not even up to a second yet, and I clicked on age, and let me just remove that weight block. That doesn't really seem right. You see how smooth that circle would be? And if I put on turbo mode, and I started that, it would go so fast. But then it wouldn't actually finish the circle because it would be too small. So if I repeated it maybe triple that, 123 times. 123 times would be 60. 360. So I would change the 120 to 360. And I clicked on H. It still wouldn't finish your circle. So what if I made it a bit bigger? Maybe 390? This might go a little over, but you still doesn't finish. Maybe 450? That finished, but you see how much smoother the circle is? Opposed to it repeating 36 times, moving 10 steps, and turning 10 degrees. It's way smoother. So, yep, that's basically a circle. A shape with really tiny and a lot of sides. That's a circle. So there's nothing like a smooth circle. The only actual way I'd say you could make a smooth circle is if you're really precise and you could draw a shape with super tiny sides a lot. And you'd have to be super patient to do that. Next, we're going to be drawing this spiral, not really spiral, but it's like a circle, basically, made out of circles, which sounds super confusing, but well, it looks so cool. Okay, so we're going to duplicate this, and it's going to make a circle, but in a repeat loop. Repeat 10 times, make a circle, and turn 36 degrees. Because 36 times 10 would be 36 times 10 would be 360, which is what we need. So if I clicked on, we don't need age. And so now we're going to do I. So there you go. I. It does it super fast because I've actually turned on turbo mode. And if I didn't turn on turbo mode and I click on I, You see that? It just keeps changing and changing and changing. So, but then what if I did this? I go to pen and change pen color, put it on top there. This would be super cool. By 50, I don't know, I'm just putting in a random number. You see how it changes it? Every single time. It because it's changing it to half every single time. Then maybe if I did 800, this should be super cool. And I did. I Yep. Look at that. A different color every single time. So it's super fun to just play around with these. Just play around with these as much as you want to. And yeah, play around with the numbers, play around with them. Next we're gonna be making a star. So we're gonna duplicate this, remove make a circle. So we're gonna make it change color by 10, repeat, right color by 800, repeat 5 times, move 60 steps, and turn 145 degrees. And also go to the pen down, and pen up. And one J. So this is gonna be J. It makes a star. And if I were to repeat that 30 times, maybe, it would create a spiral. If I were to, what if I were to repeat that 65 times? It creates a full star spiral. And if you're thinking, why does he keep talking about spirals all the time? You'll see why pretty soon. Next, we're going to be making another type of star. Just change that back to 5. We're going to be making another type of star. So duplicate this, find space here. For this star, we're going to click on K. For this star, we're going to be repeating 9 times. Move 10 steps and turn 160 degrees. Oh yeah, that's super small. Move, 100 steps. Move 100 steps. And you see that? A different type of star. This makes it looks so cool. Also because we changed the pen. This is why Scratch is so fun. You get to explore new things that you've never thought about before. And also, talking about exploring and learning new things, if you learned a new theme in this video that you didn't know before, like and subscribe. Next, we're going to be making another type of star. So duplicate that, repeat 12 times, move 150 and turn 150. And also L, when L key pressed, just, yep. You see that? That's just more themes. You could go on and 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 on with this, but we're just gonna stop there with stars. But before we stop at stars, we're gonna make a star spiral. We're moving 150 degrees and turning and we're moving 150 degrees and turning 145 degrees. So when you click on M, actually, we're supposed to move more, we're supposed to repeat 90 times. So when you click on M, you have that looks kind of 3D. If you can see the 3D effect, if you can see that 3D effect right there, like right there, there's a little 3D effect. If you can see that, like right there, that's what we want it to do. That's what it kind of looks like. Only some people can see the 3D effect. I see the 3D effect because of the inside. It looks like it curves in on the inside, type of, kind of. At least that's what I think. So next we're gonna be making a triangular spiral. Now you know where I've been going with these spirals and spirals. Now we're making a triangular spiral. So we're gonna have to create a variable called direction. And you can check for all sprites for this sprite only. We only have one sprite. And we're gonna duplicate this. Oh wait, actually, not direction, sorry. Not direction, delete that. Delete direction. Distance. And we're gonna set distance to 1. Repeat 200 times. Move distance steps to 119 degrees. And yeah, I see. Now you see, for the triangle, we turned 120 degrees, but then when you subtract 1, it's missing it, it's missing it, it's missing it, and we're repeating it 200 times. So when you turn 119 degrees, and we're going to be changing distance by 1. Now you see why we're doing it? It's moving, and it's going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger, giving it more of a 3D effect than this has a 3D effect. So when N key pressed. So there you go. When you click on N, look at that. That's crazy right now. And you see how the distance just keep changing, and we don't want to see distance on the screen, so just uncheck that. But then the distance still works. So when you click on N, it's that kind of 3D, that type of 3D effect. So you have that type of 3D effect right there. Okay, so when you click on the and you see that You see that? The 3D effect it makes because it keeps missing it. So if I, you don't need to do this. I'm just gonna go to control, wait, and I start, and I click on N. You see, it starts super tiny. That's because of the distance variable we made. The distance variable is changing by 1 each time. So let me just make this faster. 0.1. I see this distance variable is changing and changing and changing. Let me just make this a little bit faster. Yep. And you see that? And that's when I actually connect to it. So let me just pull this pencil sprite away. I'm gonna pull this sprite away. And you see that? It actually did connect. It never connected. It's never gonna connect because it keeps going by negative and negative and negative. And the theme keeps changing every time. Okay, so we're done. Bye guys, thank you. You can play around with these numbers if you want. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, people.